Oh boy. So, hello. This is the second time I recorded because I had the beautiful idea of archiving this to then be able to edit it better on a computer rather than on my phone and have a little subtitle, closed caption thing that came across. And after doing that, I lost the last video that I did. I have no idea. This is a perfect example of whenever a side project takes more time than you anticipate. But anyhow, that is how life goes. I guess this would be the equivalent of a plumbing project. You always think that it's going to take an hour, but then one of the pipes cracks, and then it takes 5 hours, which is why I don't do plumbing. But anyhow, in the last video that I recorded today that you won't get to watch, you missed out. It is perfect. The best thing ever recorded. In fact, God kept that video from being able to be uploaded to YouTube because it was so perfect that it would have crashed the internet. It would have gone viral and pretty much the world would never have been able to recover. But I read Romans 12, 1 and 2, and as a rambler, I rambled for 22 minutes, and I'll try to keep it shorter than that as I do a retake. But as I have watched different things going on in the last couple weeks, couple years, actually, I think frequently about how, as a Christian, I try to navigate the world in a thoughtful and considerate manner. And I try to think more about the why I'm doing something and think more about the process behind something than maybe even the product that happens. I think about Romans 12, 1 and 2 that says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." And the reason why this comes to mind is so often I watch people that are constantly reacting rather than being proactive, or the desire to feel like you have to be heard, or the being swept into the ways of this world rather than being thoughtful and considerate. As I've said in prior weeks, don't try to take my statements as being either pro or anti something that's going on. I try not to mention explicit political things in these videos, mostly because what I found is that usually when you speak about something, you speak with profound ignorance, and you think you know 50% of the story, and it turns out you knew less than 0.50%. So anyhow, what I frequently think about with "do not be conformed to this world" is actually part of this jacket right here. I played 1 year on Moody Bible Institute's basketball team, my freshman year of college. And so long story short, I applied to one college early on my senior year of high school, and I had always wanted to go to college in Chicago. By always, I mean, it was one of those things in high school that I remember distinctly. And I looked at Wheaton, and I looked at their college track, how they were doing, and I was like, you know what, I think I could go there, and I think I could run at Wheaton. And then I looked at how much it costs, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna go there. I had a 24 on my ACT, which to some people think that's great. Some people, they think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'd even listen to this guy's opinion. So anyhow, I was like, I got to get a whole lot better than a 24 on my ACT as well to even be considered for Wheaton. And my dad said, well, if you want to go to school in Chicago, why not look at Moody Bible Institute? Moody Bible Institute had a completely different way that they thought about college applicants. And so Wheaton is a liberal arts school, meaning it has a wide variety of majors. So your acceptance into the school is different than at Moody, where everything was centered around going into ministry in some capacity, whether it be senior pastor, youth pastor, music ministry, whether it be early elementary, education inside of the Christian school world, or whether it be training to be a theologian, or onto the mission field, linguistics. Everything was centered around whether or not you were someone who's called into vocational ministry. And so you had to fill out all these essays, and you had to have letters of recommendation saying, this person is going to, we believe this person is called and qualified to be trained for ministry. And the reason why that was such a big deal is, in contrast to Wheaton, which at that point in time would have cost well over $100,000 for 4 years with scholarships, Moody was tuition free. Everyone who got accepted into Moody had their tuition covered. So it was a full ride scholarship no matter what, if you got accepted. And so I bring all that up because Moody Bible did not recruit athletes. It recruited people. Well, it basically said whoever comes, their first and only filter that we really care about is whether or not they are going to follow God by living vocationally in ministry after this. And therefore, their athletic teams had a whole lot more peaks and valleys than other colleges that would recruit athletes and then figure out how to get them in after that. And I played 1 year there, and by played, I mean I sat the bench for 1 year at Moody Bible Institute. My playing time was 18 minutes and some odd seconds. The second closest person played over 100 minutes. I was the epitome of deep bench. And it was, so people know about, there's NCAA Division I, Division II, Division III, and inside of NCAA Division I, there's the Power 5 conferences versus the smaller conferences. I was just talking earlier today about the difference between Ohio State and Akron University and how their college athletics get funded. And so there's NCAA Division I, II, and III, which is primarily determined by the amount of scholarship money that the school can offer to athletes. And then there's the NAIA, which has scholarships, and it's a separate sort of realm of colleges that has its own realm of competition. And then there's the junior colleges. So that would be something like out here, Owens College, or out in central Illinois, Spoon River, or for those in southwest Michigan, Glen Oaks Community College. And then there is the NCCAA, which is the National Christian Colleges Athletic Association. And so that would be where you would see schools that are in the NAIA. They would also compete against only other Christian schools. And that's where you'd see schools like Cedarville or Moody Bible Institute or Appalachian Bible College or Bob Jones or Pensacola. And so I was on the lowest division possible of college athletics, the NCCAA. And yes, I would put community college athletics. It depends on which college and which athletic. I mean, they're like barely a hair above where at least we competed that year. Anyhow, so that year, right before the playoffs for the regional playoffs, one of the guys on the team, one of the seniors said, "Hey, let's all shave our heads." And I thought, no, let's not shave our heads. And this is one of the few moments where I, as Ben Murray, have really stood against the tides of the pressures put against me, and I didn't shave my head for a couple of reasons. But one, I just don't think it looks good when you have I just don't think everyone shaving their head looks good. And secondly, now these are whether or not co-equal, depends on the day. Looking back, I had bumps on my head. Genetically, I would get, there's these thing called sebaceous cysts, so basically just fatty lumps that develop, and I've had 2 or 3 removed from my head, and it's just not a beautiful thing that you have. So when you shave the head, you can't cover any of the bumps. And not only that, I was known for having long hair in high school. I had cut it down to look more professional or pastoral at college. But at that point, everyone else shaved their head and I kept my hair. And so that's my story about not conforming. But think about how silly it is. Everyone should shave their head, so we all look the same way, so that way we are a unified front as a team. Why do we do what we do? And frequently, as we watch different people say, you should be mad about this, or you should not be mad about this, or you should enjoy this, or you should not enjoy this, I think for me, the question becomes why? Why are you doing this? Or why should you not do this? And as a parent, I encounter this all the time. As we try to establish new routes of thinking and ways of acting, as we try to become a family, I ask, why should I or why shouldn't I? Last night, my wife and I were putting up the final touches of decorations around the house for today being our middle child's 7th birthday. And I just thought, I don't remember ever having streamers and decorations around the house for her birthday. Now, that being said, there could have been those things, and I just didn't remember them. Though I remember a lot of things from my childhood. But that being said, what does it matter if we did or didn't do that in my childhood? What does it matter if we did or didn't do them in Brittany's childhood? If it's a simple way that we can bring joy to a 7-year-old's face on that first day that they're 7, why would you not do it? Why would you not give up your own time to make your child happy? Especially if it's not conflicting with having something else happen. Like it's a no-brainer. So I want to ask everyone who watches this video, why do you do what you do? Is it because you're simply being conformed into someone else's mold, that you're being pushed into a mold? That's what conformed means, being kind of squished into a mold. Or are you actually being transformed with interior motives that are then working their way out into exterior actions? Are you doing something just because that's how we've always done it, or that's what my political party says, or that's what a politician says? Or are you doing it for a deeper, better reason? And these whys come out with, I believe, better responses and better actions. Anyhow, so last night also went to a banquet for Mosaic Ministries. I would highly encourage everybody who lives in the greater Toledo area, Northwest Ohio, to look into Mosaic Ministries. Support it in every single way you can. They're doing a great job there. It's a ministry trying to strengthen a community to have better education outcomes, better family unit outcomes, better everything outcomes, and it's grounded in Jesus Christ. Last night, we took all 3 of our girls to this banquet, which is insane. Why bring 3 children under 10 to a place that they're supposed to sit for 2 hours? But they did awesome. They were super great. And one of the reasons that they were great, and I'm going to give a shout out right now, Chad was one of the guys at our table, Chad Earhart, and he just drew for 30 minutes with the girls. He drew a little doodle and he gave it to my youngest, and then she wanted to draw a doodle. She asked me to draw. And then later, actually, my youngest essentially kicked me out of that chair and I moved to a different one. And then the 2 youngest were just drawing pictures in this stack of little pictures, drawn mostly on the little card that said if you were getting the beef or the salmon. And then also my youngest went over, she grabbed a napkin from the coffee area and she unfolded it and started ripping off little pieces to draw the pictures on. Oh, what a sweet and sincere little girl. But in the world of art, I do have a new picture that is up on my office as I get way too close and personal to the camera. So for those of you who know anything about one of the greatest children's book series, let's see if I can do this since it's mirrored. There is the new artwork. Gracie made a big version of 3 panels from a Dogman comic, and I'm hanging it on my wall. Hopefully that wall gets hung with all sorts of awesome artwork from my girls. And so I don't think I've shown more of my office pictures. There's some more stuff that is up and about in the office, and art is a wonderful thing. I believe that as humans, we're created to be creative, and so go do that. Oh, finally, I'm going to end with a shout out to South Fulton Athletics Riley Fogelsong, who last week had on, I think it was 15 carries. He got 4 touchdowns, ran for 330 yards, putting him at 1,089 yards for the season, which isn't over yet. That's incredible. Riley was pole vaulted for me and was all-state in pole vault in the spring and was part of some relays. Really encouraging, fantastic watching him succeed. And I just want to give him a massive shout out there. Riley, I'm following what you're doing in different ways, and you're rocking it. Keep doing well. And tomorrow is the regional cross-country championships, I know, at least for Illinois. And Carter Chenoweth, he is looking like he's going to go rocket. He took a very good spot at the Patriot Invitational last Saturday, so that should set him up pretty well. He went 16 minutes flat, almost taking the title for the fastest time that a South Fulton runner has run on that course, which Isaac Jones ran back in the day. But then shout out also to Kaylin Chenoweth for being all-state, and shout out in junior high cross country, and shout out to the South Fulton girls junior high team for making it that far. Also shout out to Montez and Xavier for making it to their championships in their level of football here locally, and I look forward to on Sunday hearing how they did on Saturday, which will be in a weird time loop, so that will be after everything happens. But all right, everybody, my 18 minutes of rambling is hopefully good for everybody, and may the Lord strengthen you, may the Lord give you grace and peace, and may he draw you closer to him. And may you think about the why behind a lot of your actions in the upcoming days. All right, blessings.